Joining us right now is a man who has seen a lot of football through the years and was on hand to watch West Virginia's inaugural Big 12 conference game from Big 12 Sports, Mr. Wendell Barnhouse. Good evening to you, Wendell.
How you guys doing? I personally gave up keeping written play-by-play about halfway through the second quarter. It's not like there's going to be a key moment in this game that I'm going to have to keep track of because it's just not going to be that way. I don't know. A lot of people said they really haven't seen anything like that, and I don't know. I can't really. I've seen a lot of interesting football games, but I don't think I've seen anything like that.
That was going to be my first question. You literally have covered hundreds of games through your career. What stands out to you about what you saw transpire?
The quarterback play was unbelievable. I mean, Nick Florence of Baylor throws for 516 or something, 500 yards and 5 touchdowns, and he's a footnote. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. Yeah. And I know, in fact, I'm going to write something for the website this week. Sitting there watching all that unfold, I could just imagine, since it was an early game and a lot of people had a chance to digest it. I'm assuming that most of the people that would consider themselves SEC fans are going to say, well, they don't play any defense in that league. I honestly don't think that when you have two quarterbacks and receiving cores and offenses like that, I don't know if the 85 Chicago Bears would have much luck against that stuff because you just can't cover enough there. I didn't see, there were some, a couple of missed tackles. I know Tavon Austin got loose, caught a little short pass over the middle. The guy misses the tackle and goodbye. But, I just don't know how you stop offenses like this. I mean, I feel for the defensive coordinators in this league because, if you rush 3 and drop 8 like what Baylor did, if you don't get pressure on Geno Smith, it's 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Oh, there's Stephen Bailey. He's open. Boom. Touchdown. I mean, it's just, I think the offenses Saturday were just at a very high level. Now, will Geno Smith complete 80% of his passes every game? Probably not. I mean, there's going to be games when they're a little bit off, and that's almost your only hope, I think, is that the quarterback doesn't have a good day. I mean, I saw the Texas-Oklahoma State game. There was some great quarterback play and some great throws made. If you're a defender and you're right behind the receiver and the quarterback hits the guy in the hands, I don't know what you can do.
Yeah. Wendell Barnhouse, Big12Sports.com, joins us. If I remember correctly, you had not been here before for a game.
Correct.
What was your overall take on the whole deal?
It was an outstanding thing. I talked to the sports information directors at West Virginia after the game. The press box is outstanding. The stadium, the striping came off great. I think, Bob Bowlesby was there, and he commented to some writers that it's much more, that it's not a, he said it's better than a Pac-12 atmosphere, which maybe that's damning with faint praise, but, it was really good. And I know I saw a Baylor fan posted on one of the websites, Ear Sports, I think, or something, about what a great experience he had and how everybody was welcoming, and the sportsmanship and everything apparently was great. And it's just that it's a great stadium. I mean, I like the way it just everything sort of fits, and I had a great time. I mean, it's one of those places where it's like I'm going to figure out a way to get back every time I can. The only problem is it costs a little bit more money to get over there. But
the new television contract. Don't worry about it. It's in the bank. Don't worry about it.
Off the air, we'll talk about where that money's going.
Wendell Barnhouse, Big12Sports.com, joins us.
Hey, Wendell. Obviously, a lot of talk on all of the offensive production, but there are a lot of cries about bad defense, poor defense.
Right.
What's your take on the defensive showing, I guess, from both teams?
Again, I only know what I can see, and I don't see defensive busts. I can't tell, oh, they were in a cover 2 there, and this, I don't follow it that closely. But, when I was watching the Texas-Oklahoma State game Saturday night, Texas missed tackles, and that create. I think Matt Brown said today on the teleconference they missed 12 tackles against Oklahoma State. You do that against teams in this league, and you are in big trouble. I didn't see that. I mean, obviously the play at the end of the half, West Virginia screwed that up, and no doubt about that. I mentioned Tavon Austin catches a little pass across the middle, tackles missed, boom, it's touchdown. But, I really don't know what you're supposed to do. You rush 3 guys like Baylor did, and you drop 8. If you blitz and you don't get to Geno Smith, or if you blitz and they pick it up, or unless you keep everything contained and nobody, if he has to run, he can run for 20 yards. If you blitz and don't get there and you got a guy one-on-one and the guy gets beat, which, like I said, I just don't know how defensive backs can stay with guys like Austin and Bailey and the guys from Baylor. I mean, those are all really good receivers, and you're talking, and then, hey, J.D. Woods. I mean, I know you guys, people there have been waiting for him to kind of have the light come on. It sure looked like it came off. If he plays like that this year, I just don't know how you cover guys.
That's a good point.
I'm exasperated because it's like everybody's going to say, well, the defense is bad. The field's 53 yards wide. And as Joe DeForest, I was talking to him after the game, he said, Baylor uses they spread guys from sideline to sideline. I mean, they're all spread out. And I just think it's very difficult. I'm not saying it can't be done, but on a day when the quarterbacks are hitting guys in the hands, Geno Smith threw a couple of deep passes that, 50, 55 yards, hits guys in stride. The guys don't have to stop. It's, I don't know. It's incredible to me, the quarterback play. And I think, if the quarterbacks are continuing to get better, I think teams are, look, their SEC game was 51-44 or something like that.
Right.
I think a lot more schools are looking at it and saying, if we get a quarterback and 4 or 5 receivers that can do things, we can do some damage offensively. So I just don't buy it that it's just horrible defense. Could the defense be better? Sure. I mean, I know the West Virginia people are saying, well, we've got to get better on defense, and they do. But there are going to be days when you might give up 40 or 50 points, and you just haven't played that bad.
Wendell, talk a little bit about moving forward, obviously a big matchup this weekend with Texas. Talk a little bit about not only what should WVU fans expect as we head into Austin, but just the matchup on the field in general.
I know Fox is real happy to be televising football in prime time because there are some, there are games that are going to quote unquote overshadow this game being played in that other conference that wins all the national championships. But first of all, the atmosphere, it should be outstanding. Texas fans, to a certain extent, have a reputation of, the 103,000 show up and they're okay, we're here, we're kind of interested. In 2008, Missouri came to Texas. I think both teams might have been undefeated. This was the year after Missouri almost made it to the national championship game. They had Chase Daniels, a senior. Texas had just knocked off Oklahoma. They were playing Missouri, and I think it was 2 top 10 teams. And Texas got out to like a 35-0 first half. I mean, they blew them out, and the fans were fired up. And the Missouri players they were looking up at the huge giant scoreboard in the end zone and were like, wow, what are we doing here? And they can get a good atmosphere. I expect that Saturday night. I think they're going to be really into the game because it's a new team, because West Virginia has a reputation it has, and the fact that, Texas is coming off a victory that it hasn't totally defined their season, but it beats the heck out of having lost. And, they're now sitting here, okay, if we beat West Virginia, then we got Oklahoma. Speaking of tough schedule stretches, but I mean, I think it's going to be a great game. And I think for West Virginia, Sean Alston's got to get healthy. That's the other thing. Look what West Virginia did against Baylor with, basically by throwing the ball. If they're throwing if Geno Smith's throwing the ball like he does to all those receivers, and they get Sean Alston out there, slashing through holes that are open because everybody's covering receivers, they could get, they could really get scary, I think, as far as how good that offense is. Because the running element they didn't really need it Saturday. And if they had Alston, I don't know what Baylor could have done. But, I just think it's going to be a very interesting game. And Texas's defense was supposed to be top 10 quality. They have not proven that yet. Their linebacker play is kind of spotty. Like I said earlier, the last 2 games they missed a total of 23 tackles. You know, as I said, they better, you know, if they miss a tackle on Austin or Bailey, it's 6 points.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game. I think Texas is going to try to run the ball a little bit more, which they did late in the game against Oklahoma State, and that's going to be West Virginia's number one thing is if Texas says, okay, we're going to play smash mouth here and we're going to try to run the ball and control the clock that way. We all know how Dana Holgorsen gets when the other team has a 10-play drive that takes 5 minutes. So I think that's going to be what Texas is going to try to do offensively.
Wendell Barnhouse joins us, Big12Sports.com. One last question for you. You listened to the conference call today, and Mack Brown, I mean, he didn't give praise to Geno and the double EV offense. He heaped it in major chunks. You know him. You've heard him through the years. Is he just kind of setting the scene, or do you think that is totally from the heart?
Maybe not totally from the heart, but I don't think, you know, he's not going Lou Holtz on anybody here.
Yeah, that's interesting.
No, I think I had read before the conference call today, Stuart Mandel of SI.com, with his like weekend roundup, I guess it got Mac on the phone Sunday, and he had a quote from Mac saying, you know, this is the best offense I've seen ever, anywhere. I mean, and I honestly don't think he's blowing smoke on this. I mean, you know, I'm saying it's one of the better offenses that I've ever seen, at least from what I saw Saturday. So, you know, Mack Brown is at least as smart as I am. He's a little bit richer than he's got a bigger contract than I do. But no, seriously, I think everybody knows that, you know, Dana Holgorsen is a heck of a offensive coordinator / head coach / quarterback guru, and you know, Geno Smith is a guy who, you know, doesn't get too high, too low. He plays. He's competitive. He wants to get better. I know one thing, you know, apparently you guys know this better than I do, but I've heard that one of the things he didn't do that well was throw the deep ball real accurately, maybe last year or recently. I think he's got that down now.
Kind of fixed that, didn't he?
Yeah, and so, I mean, anybody that looks at that and tries to say, no, they're not that good, you know, now are they going to score 70 again this season? I mean, I don't know, but it's not a fluke. You know, they are that good. And like you said, they, you know, veteran offensive line. If you get Austin back and they're running the ball, you know, and all those receivers, I mean, you know, I just don't know. I haven't seen many teams with that many perfect combinations of things. I mean, Baylor was kind of close to that last year, but I don't think Baylor had as many veteran game-breaking receivers as they do this year and as West Virginia does. And that's the other thing. I mean, it's like it doesn't matter who you're throwing the ball to. You know, they've got 4 or 5 guys out there on each play that, you know, if the defensive back makes a wrong step or gets beat or whatever, and the quarterback can get the ball to him accurately, it's 6 points. Yeah. I mean, it really is kind of, you know, I'm having fun watching it, I'll tell you that much.
Should be interesting this weekend. Wendell, thanks so much for your time. We do appreciate it, and good to see you Saturday.
Yep, and I will be in Austin Saturday night, so I assume the game will be over around midnight.
Probably so. Thanks so much, Wendell. Have a good week.
You guys take care.
You too. Bye-bye. There he is, Wendell Barnhouse, Big12Sports.com.